Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the first round of the playoffs here in the Kickass Beef Jerky series in Sim500 competition. Darlington is where we get things kicked off. The track too tough to tame. Alongside Trey Edson tonight, I am Ben Kilcrease and Aaron Grosskopf. Going to be getting a picture of that UC to you. And here we go, Trey. First of all, welcome to the booth. Glad to have you. And second of all, what a better way to start the playoffs here in the Kick-Ass series than at Darlington. This track very challenging from a driver's seat, sometimes challenging for us as a broadcaster because it just gets it's so hard to pass at times here. There's not really much action on the racetrack, but these guys in Sim 500 competition, including yourself, always beef it up when you're on the racetrack, and tonight going to be no different.
Yeah, it's actually the first time I've seen Darlington under the lights. iRacing's done a great job. I don't know how much that's going to change how these guys approach tonight, but it's your same old Darlington. You got to take care of that right side, take care of your tires. Like you said, it is hard to pass, but I feel like if you take care of them tires and we get long enough runs, it'll eventually pay off for you.
So we'll keep an eye on the tire fall off tonight as the runs go on. You mentioned it. We started under the pretty much full darkness now in Darlington, but started out the night under sort of a sunset scenery. It was a beautiful, picturesque scene, and now the sky turns to dark and the lights begin to come on here at Darlington Raceway, and we're just moments away from running you through tonight's starting lineup. But first, we'll go over the 18 drivers in the playoffs. Daniel Falkingham leads the field into tonight. He's got 1 point over Byron Daly due to some bonus points throughout the season. Then it's David Comstock, Justin Fuller, Chris Jabu, Jordan Hightower, Chad Coleman, Dan Denayer, Joey Jatina, Robert Gillenwater, Ryan Howard, Ryan Macklin, E.J. O'Rourke, Tommy Ryan, Scott Simley, Dwayne Vincent. Those guys top 18, so keep an eye on them over the course of this race. And now it's time to run you through tonight's starting lineup here at Darlington in the first round of playoffs for the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky Series. It'll be Daniel Falkingham setting quick time tonight here at Darlington. He is looking for win number 6 of the season, hoping it will come at the Lady in Black. And to his outside, a great qualifying effort from the driver to number 31. That's Eric Arnold.
Starting third, we got Doy Woods. That's as far as I've seen him up in quite a while, so that's a good run for him. My teammate Brian Macklin there fourth, so that's a good start to his night.
Certainly, and then you have Two Tire Daily looking for win number 9 on the season. He rolls off fifth rather in the 06. To his outside, Mr. Excitement, Jason Jacoby in the 88.
Starting seventh, Ryan Howard, and 8, Scott Simley.
Then you have Chad Coleman and E.J. O'Rourke making up row number 5, and the rest of the field going to scroll across the bottom of your screen there as we get set to go racing tonight here at Darlington. But first, we'll pull up the pole sitter tonight and the championship leader heading into the playoffs. He's got a small bubble, but tonight he's looking to make that bubble a little bit bigger and gain some points on the rest of these guys. Looking for win number 6 tonight. Daniel Ben up in the booth. Got a copy?
10-4.
All right, long race, 100 laps under the lights here at Darlington. What's it going to take to get that number 39 machine up in victory lane tonight?
Track position is going to be key because this is, I think, the hardest track on the circuit to pass. So, especially with how tight these Xfinity cars are. So, main key is try to keep this thing up front and try to just stay off the wall too. And you're going to need a little bit of lady luck here at the Lady in Black too. So, hopefully we can keep this thing clean, but I feel we're going to have a few Darlington stripes on this Yahoo car before the thing is over. But, yeah, also a quick shout out to John Mushton Jr. for painting me up this amazing throwback in the Yahoo car. So, hopefully we can park this thing in victory lane tonight.
There you go. Keep all the purple on the car, not on the wall.
We're going to try, but it's going to look good on the wall if we do.
There you go. Daniel Falkingham leading us off tonight here at Darlington. And as we work down the back straightaway, Trey, talk about the butterflies here. You know this track's going to be hard to pass. You know it's going to be a hard race. You know you're going to have to be patient. What's it like as a driver at this moment getting ready to take that green flag?
Man, I'm nervous for these guys just sitting here. So, yeah, you kind of want to settle in and like Daniel said, you just kind of want to keep the thing in one piece and settle in. You can't really worry about racing what's around you. You kind of got to race the track. I know that's an old saying, but race the track, keep your car in one piece, and you're usually in a good spot at the end.
Well, we got 100 laps to find out who's going to be lucky here at the track. Too tough to tame. The green is out, and we are underway at Darlington in the first round of the playoffs for the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series. And already Daniel Falkingham down into turns number 1 and 2. A 10-car length lead over the rest of the field, and Brian Macklin's already got a piece of the wall. Tag him as the first car to get a Darlington stripe on the right side.
Yeah, they look pretty single file going down into 3 here. I guess Brian did not hear us tell him to keep the right side clean, but looks clean and green so far. Everybody's doing a pretty good job.
Battle for that 4th position going to be between Doy Woods and Byron Daly. Daly kind of watched up the racetrack there. Woods gets out of the gas, and he's going to lose 2 positions there in one turn. So tight here at Darlington. We were talking about that racing groove earlier. Pre-race here, Trey, and I mean it's literally 2 cars can fit there, and if you get a 3rd one in there, you better get sorted out before you corner exit, or it's going to get super tight, and that's usually when we see the contact occur.
Yeah, going. I feel like 3 and 4, you can kind of do your own thing, and you can maintain side by side down there, but down into turn 1 is super hard side by side with another car. It don't matter if you're on the inside or the outside, and then exiting 2, the car wants to get free, so it's not fun when somebody's either on the left side or the right side. It's a tough end.
Tough for sure, side-by-side racing here at Darlington. We've seen a little bit of it so far, though, here in the opening laps, as Brian Macklin going to be able to get by that 31 of Arnold down into turn 1 and off of 2. Macklin going to have that position to the back straightaway, as it's all Daniel Falkingham out in front of the field. He's got already over a 2.5 lead over the rest of these guys in the first 4 laps. Falkingham starting to stink it up already out in front, but this is a long race. 100 laps, plenty of time for these guys to work their way back to the rear bumper of that 39 machine if they've got the speed. Byron Daly worked his way up to the 4th spot already, and he is closing in on Arnold. That'll be a battle for the 3rd spot if he can get up there, but pretty much everybody else single file. Got a small battle between Fuller and O'Rourke. O'Rourke going to let the 51 go. That'll be for around the 11th position, as O'Rourke going to tag the wall over in 3 and 4. Sets him up to be under a little pressure from the 99 of Tommy Ryan. Is Ryan going to maybe take a look? No, he'll choose to ride behind the 41. Throw him back to Tony Stewart paint scheme there in that 41 machine. The throwback car is really looking sharp tonight here at Darlington.
Yeah, I actually did that one up myself for EJ just to brag on myself. I did it last year, and I think he didn't even show up to run the race. So I told him we'll just try that again this year. But yeah, it's the cool part about coming to Darlington. You see some schemes you haven't seen in a long, long time. It brings back memories, even before you or I were probably born. But it's cool for them to pay tribute to the legends of the sport.
Certainly is. And speaking of the legends of the sport, legend of Sim500 competition, Justin Fuller right in front of O'Rourke. They're going to go side by side with Simley. That gets real tight off turn 4. We mentioned it, the side-by-side racing gets real tight, and there you go again, side-by-side into 1. Maybe some contact. Simley going to get a piece of the wall. Everybody scatters behind to avoid the break in momentum there, as Simley going to come off the wall, and luckily no other car has really got a piece of that except for the 12 and the safer barrier down in turns number 1 and 2. But Mike Kelly sees an opening there. He'll get to the inside of the 99 off turn 4, trying to make that pass. Going to work down the front straightaway. Not quite. Ryan with the advantage from the outside off of turn number 4 holds on to that 13th position. So these guys, Trail and Fuller, just as I mentioned, that gets into the wall big time off turn 2. He had a nice slap with the concrete there, but these guys, even though it's still early in the race, Trey, trying to get every position they can, because you may not get the opportunity to get it again later in the race.
That's exactly it, man. You gotta get what you can get, because you don't want to have the mindset of I'm going to take care of my tires and start letting people go, and then a caution comes out, because you're going to come get tires anytime the caution comes out. So you can't lose 3 or 4 spots every time we get a run thinking you're going to save tires. So you kind of gotta get what you can get. And then if you can get a gap, I mean, like Daniel, that's not the kind of everybody wants that gap. But I'm saying like Fuller, he doesn't really have anything in front or out back. You know, you can kind of sit here and take care of it, and not do what he did a few laps ago.
Absolutely. So Fuller Ryan's 10th right now. Just in front of him, it's Chad Coleman. And then working our way towards the front, David Comstock in that 42, right on the bumper of Ryan Howard in the 33. Their small battle starting to develop around that 7th position. And Doy Woods on the bumper of Jacoby, and Jacoby right on the bumper of Arnold, who has just recently gotten passed by Byron Daly, who's worked himself up and into the 3rd spot. And it looks like Arnold going to be under pressure from the 88 within the next lap or so as Jacoby closing in. That'll be a battle for the 4th spot, 88-31, getting ready to go at it for a spot inside the top 5. Look at Byron Daly trying to work the bottom side of the racetrack over in turns number 3 and 4. Looks pretty good. Off corner exit there. Maybe he's found something down low.
Yeah, the track might be a little cooler down there. No one seems to be running it, so it never hurts to search around. Back to Jacoby, man. I don't know if y'all remember the Gibbs Winter Series here, but actually it was the Kickass Winter Series. He just straight whipped our butts. I mean, I ran second to him all night long. I gave it all I could get. I even got the lead and thought I was going to be good, and he was in his own zone. So I'm looking for a good run out of him tonight. He's talented. He's a little aggressive at times, as you've seen, but that performance he put on that night, it earned some respect from me.
Absolutely. We call him Mr. Excitement for a reason as we go on board with the driver of the number 88 as he chases down Eric Arnold and right up to the bumper in 3 and 4. Boy, a big run. He had to almost put the brakes on there in the center of the turn. He got such a run on Arnold down on that end of the racetrack. We'll see if he gets another good run like that here in 1. He does, and right up to the bumper. Jacoby looking to make his way around that 31 machine and work his way up to 4th.
Yeah, he's definitely aggressive on entry. He gets all he can get down in there. I can vouch for it. I've seen it happen. But Byron seems to be struggling up ahead of him there. I don't know if he's kind of used up everything, but he's falling back to Arnold and Jacoby here. So we'll see if they can do anything with him.
So watching the battle there kind of shape up and reform back up front. Daniel Falkingham, he had a comfortable lead. Maybe he's just saving his stuff, but over the past couple laps, Brian Macklin been ticking away at that lead pretty substantially. It was up to 1.7 at one point. This time by at the flag stand, it's down to 0.4. So Macklin really closing in on that 39, but at what cost? Is Macklin really pushing his car? Is Falkingham maybe just going 50% right now, letting him catch back up, and then going to turn the boosters on?
I think I see a little damage on the right front of that 39, so we could probably have to look back and see if he got into the fence at some point. But most tracks, Macklin's very good on the long run, but I am shocked to see him catching Daniel at this rate, just because, as I say, Brian's very good on the long run, so is Daniel. So that's definitely not something I was expecting out of Brian tonight. So that's cool. That's cool to see. We got. I thought Daniel was just going to check out here and stink it up. So I'm glad to see a race for the lead there.
Yep, closing in on the 5th mark of this race, and Macklin closing in on the leader, Daniel Falkingham. A pair of awesome paint schemes up at the front of the field. Macklin in the 30, and then Falkingham up in that purple number 39. And boy, we've got a battle for the lead on our hands off turn 2. We'll keep one eye on that. Back in 3rd, it's Byron Daly, who's kind of opened up a little bit of gap between him and the 31 again over in 3 and 4. And then Jacoby's kind of fallen off the 31 and under the clutches of the 33 of Ryan Howard, who's starting to come alive, as does he in every race. It seems that 33 always good on the long runs as well.
Yeah, he's been doing this online racing thing for a long time, so he's got several tricks up his sleeve, same as Jason. But yeah, I thought Jacoby was going to get up there and battle for 3rd and 4th, and looks like he's starting to struggle. So there's a lot of coming and going right now. I can't really get my the pulse on who's got the long run speed.
It's kind of a game of cat and mouse. You know, one driver catches up to another, and then that driver that they were catching up to starts to pull away again. So we see that up front with Brian Macklin kind of closed in on Falkingham. Now Falkingham maybe putting the throttle all the way back down again and starting to open up a little bit of distance between himself and Macklin. Looked like he may have tagged a wall there. Macklin for sure got a piece of the wall over in 3 and 4. That's really going to slow the 30 down there. He's going to lose almost a half a second, if not more, just that lap with that tag with the wall over in 3 and 4. So that's what you got to watch out for, especially as these tires start to get older. It starts to get tighter. It starts to get a little free off of 2, like you mentioned. It gets a handful here late in the going, and Eric Arnold has tagged the wall and allowed Jason Jacoby and Ryan Howard to get by, and he's in the wall again.
This old girl's just getting meaner and meaner, and these tires aren't. They're not helping either. Yeah, this track, man, you can't. Well, that's any track. Race cars don't normally play well with walls. So, yeah, Brian's kind of used his up. Jason's using his ups, and a thing you'll do here is you get so zoned in and trying to pass somebody that you'll follow them into the wall. You think, well, they drove it in that far. Why can't I? And then you both slide up into the wall. So it's tough to do, man. This is a hard track. It's you know, they say passing's hard, but it's hard enough just to get on this thing by yourself.
Absolutely. You know, it's one of the most challenging courses on the schedule, and we're seeing that tonight. It's Daniel Falkingham out in front of the field, about a second and a half back to Brian Macklin. Byron Daly closing in, though, on that second position. He sits third, looking for win number 9 of the season. Jacoby and Howard round out the top 5. We are 1/4 of the way through here at Darlington. We'll keep it on side by side so you can watch the action. But we're going to take a quick commercial break and get tuned up for some green flag pit stops coming up here shortly at the track. Too Tough to Tame. We'll be back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
How to make a Kickass Bloody Mary. First, visit your nearest Apollo liquor store in Rochester or Austin. Pick up a bottle or 2 of Kickass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings. Then fill your glass with Kickass Bloody Mary and your favorite vodka. Add the Kickass fixings. Now it's time to enjoy a Kickass Bloody Mary, and of course, repeat as needed. Get your Kickass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings today at any of the Apollo locations in Rochester and Austin. It's just that good.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of
Racing under the lights at Darlington and racing to the green flag pit stops. We're kind of wondering when they're going to come up here in the booth, and we're thinking maybe next couple laps or maybe stretch it a little bit further. It's all just up in the air, and really what these drivers and teams have as their strategy laid out before the race. And Trey, no matter what happens, you always have one strategy heading into the race. Okay, I'm going to do this, and just as I was talking about the strategy, that's going to throw a kink in the chain as far as any strategy, as Jeff Ryan going to bring out the caution for the first time tonight in the 67. Just a self-incident on the back straightaway.
It looks like he, yeah, just got in that wall, man. Got behind on his steering.
And loops it right in. A pretty hairy moment for Falkingham as Ryan was spinning to the inside of the track as the leader right there on his doorstep. And just like that, well, we don't have to worry about strategy anymore. We know when they're coming down pit road, and it's going to be this time as pits are going to be open. Daniel Falkingham going to lead the field down on the pit road. Now, this is a tricky pit road here. Trey, you can't get ahead of the pace car, you'll get a black flag. So these drivers really have to maintain speed and kind of keep an eye on where the pace car is, where the other cars on the racetrack are as well. So looks like everybody going to get down to 45 mile an hour safe and sound, and it's Falkingham leading the way. Now, if Falkingham were to make a mistake right here on his pit stop and Macklin beats him out, that's going to be huge for the rest of this race, because then Falkingham going to be on offense. Macklin will be able to run a little bit of defense.
Yeah, really, that top five, man, right there at the end, they were all on top of each other lap time. So I honestly think whoever can get the lead, you're probably going to see them lead until something else happens. But looks like Doy slid through there, so that's going to hurt his track position. There's no question everybody was taking 4 tires right here. So I think you'd get questioned if you took 2. Your sanity.
Even Byron Daly took 4, so you know it's a 4 and go kind of deal. Is Falkingham going to win the race off pit road? Then it's Macklin, Daly, Howard, and Comstock. So not a lot changing there in the top 5. Falkingham, your leader, and kind of give you a rundown through the field right now. Still 24 cars on the lead. Lap 1 is 1 lap down. That's Jeff Ryan, who just had the incident over there on the back straightaway, and Steve Herring pulled it behind the wall 10 laps ago. So 24 still on the lead lap. Randy Yoakum being the final one. Looks like he's about to lose a lap right here under this caution. So that'll be 23 cars on the lead lap. Falkingham, Macklin, Daly, Howard, Jacoby, Comstock, Arnold, Coleman, Fuller, and Ryan. Tommy Ryan, that is. Top 10 here at Darlington. And boy, it's just getting to that stage of the run, Trey, where these tires were shot. We talked about it on the break there. Almost 2-second fall off between lap 1 with your leader to the lap 30 or so mark there. Almost 2 seconds fall off, and boy, as a driver, that's a handful.
Yeah, you know, as drivers, sometimes we won't fall off just because we feel like we're better than everybody else, and we can make up the long run there. But here it's a whole different animal. You know, it starts driving bad. You don't know. You drive it off in the corner. You don't know where it's gonna land, lap after lap, and you're just begging to the crew chief to let you come in there and get 4 more. So I was getting excited. I wanted to see green flag pit stops because you said it under caution there a second ago that it's a hard pit road to get onto, but this thing is a beast trying to slow down on old tires and just at the angle that you have to get on a pit road here. So hopefully this thing will stay green and we can see some green flag pit stop excitement here.
Well, we'll see what happens here as we get set to turn the lights off this time by, so we'll sneak this interview real quick. Brian Macklin, Ben Kilcrease up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, man. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty well down there on the track as well, running P2 here for a good portion, or actually all of the race so far tonight, pretty much. What's it going to take to get around that 39? How hard is this place to pass?
Well, I got behind him. I got real close to him there on that first run, and I got real tight, and I couldn't make the car turn the way I needed to. And it's just really going to come down to not making any mistakes like I did, and hopefully him making a mistake for me to be able to get by him.
There you go. We'll see if that happens, Brian. Hopefully we'll chat with you a little bit later. We're going to get back to our job. We'll let you do the same. Good luck.
Yeah, buddy, you're going to talk to me in Victory Lane tonight.
Brian Macklin looking to head to Victory Lane tonight, and he's got a good car to do it. Good chance as he'll restart P2 here. Daniel Falkingham choosing the outside for this restart. 39-30, that's the front row Falkingham Macklin pace car. Back down to the safety of pit road, getting set for the first restart of the night. 2 by 2 by 2. The green flag back out in the air, and we're back underway. And from the outside line, Falkingham gets a good restart, but here's where it's going to get really crucial down into 1. Macklin, it was really, a big deal for him to clear that 33 of Howard, who also got a good restart from the outside. Even Byron Daly from the 4th position going to clear the 33 off of turn number 2. And here comes David Comstock in the 42 trying to make up some ground while the tires are still fresh and everybody's bunched up.
Yeah, you got to get it while the getting's good, or is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, you
anyway, all right. Yeah, that was a bad restart for the inside lane, but Daniel went pretty early, so I think it caught everybody off guard. But hey, Brian was second, got filed into second. Same, the top 5 just kind of stayed put. So as disorganized as it looks like it didn't really kill anyone's track position.
So everybody just kind of getting back into a rhythm right now here at Darlington. Darlington, one of those tracks that's real hard to get back into a rhythm. We talk about rhythm at places like Bristol, Martinsville, Darlington, another one of those big rhythm tracks, and around goes the 20 in turn 2, but we stay green. He saves it. Chad Coleman got a big piece of someone's bumper there. We'll see if we can get a replay pulled up. Sideways was the 20 off the bumper of the 31, and he did everything but crash that car over in turn 2.
Yeah, the guy that turned him ended up straightening him out. So, I mean, is that like a sorry or I don't know. Chad's getting used up again down here when we go back live. He's going to need a trip to pit road because he didn't really kill the wall, but it's enough to where you're going to want to come get that fixed.
Yeah, that every corner of that number 20 machine used up. Here on lap number 41, he got a nice door from Glenn Campbell just a couple corners ago, and got a fender, or a quarter panel rather, from Dwayne Vincent the next corner, and just continuing to fall back. He was running inside the top 10, and now he's in jeopardy of losing a top 20 spot. So a bad break there for Chad Coleman. Everybody else kind of gets sorted out, though, that was around that incident. A hairy moment for a lot down the back straightaway as there were cars scattered all the way to the inside safer barrier. I was talking about rhythm right before that, Trey, though, and as a driver, you get into a rhythm here at Darlington. You can feel the tire fall off, where you're hitting your marks, and then the caution comes out. Then you get fresh tires. How hard is it to first of all, get that speed back up where you're comfortable and say, okay, I've got new tires. I can go faster than what I'm doing. And how hard is it just to get that rhythm going again?
For me, it's really hard just because it's like I almost forget what the thing drives like on fresh tires. I kind of experienced it Wednesday night in the truck race at Bristol. We went green for a while, and then we got tires and came back out there. And I just kind of underdrove the corner. I just went really slow. And I was like, what the heck am I doing? So I'm sure all these guys kind of went through that. It's kind of like a relearning of how fast I can go here. But, that top 5, they're so good. They can probably go out there and not miss a beat.
Boy, it's 9 day. When I'm on the racetrack, it almost takes me to the point of where the tires wear out again, where I was comfortable running to get the feel for it again. Nonetheless, though, battle for third on the racetrack. That's Byron Daly leading or right ahead of Jason Jacoby, should say, down in turn 4. These guys have been pretty glued together almost the whole race. They've been around each other, trying to, best each other up. And right now, it's been Daly for pretty much all 46 laps out in front of that 88. But here comes Jacoby. A good run off turn 2. Great run to the back straightaway. Not going to be able to pull out, though. He'll ride right behind that 06. And, boy, talk about easing up on the bumper of a car like that here at Darlington. That's real hard to do as well, kind of judging where you're at on the racetrack. Your vision gets skewed, and now we got a little bit of blocking game going on down the front stretch.
Yeah, it looked like Jason was trying to maybe peek out, and Byron wasn't having it. So that makes it even tougher to see down in the turn one when somebody's blocking your view. But yeah, I kind of mentioned it earlier where you'll be trying to pass somebody and you'll just drive it into the fence with them. You kind of lose where you're at. It's hard to pass anywhere when you're tucked up somebody's bumper because you're kind of driving through their car. But especially here, you just because you're having to run so close to the wall, you're having to find any grip you can find, and it's just tough, man. This track's it's just one of its own, or it's just unique. It's there's nothing like it. It's like you said before we went on air. There's like 3 football fields between wall to wall, but we only run on about 20 feet of racetrack, so it's just it's special. I'm glad that we keep coming back here every year, though.
Yeah, none other like it on the circuit, that's for sure. Is Daly kind of holding off Jacoby, but these guys they've got some company now up in here and inside the top 5 and even right outside the top 5 as Comstock has closed up on these guys. He's brought Fuller and Howard with him, and just as we talk about that, another battle up front for the lead as Falkingham gets a little pressure from Macklin and Byron Daly gets a little pressure from Jason Jacoby. So it's about that point of the run. I'd say about 10 or so laps where these tires start falling off. People start getting more comfortable. And this is where we start seeing the passes attempted to be made.
Yeah, this is sort of mirroring the first run we had there where Daniel kind of got out there and then Brian ran him back down. So I know Brian mentioned he made some mistakes, and so we'll see if he learned from those. But Byron's kind of causing a logjam back there. I'd be interested to see if he's saving tires or if any of them other guys have anything for these front 2. But I'm sure these front 2 don't mind it. They would gladly gap themselves and settle it between themselves.
Absolutely. As we work down the back straightaway, halfway was this past time. If Falkingham leads this lap, which it looks like he will, he'll get the most laps led award as Jacoby goes side by side with Byron Daly again. Close quarter racing off 4 there as Jacoby slides back up behind the 06. What a show we've got here in this battle for the 3rd spot. Falkingham leading Macklin there. Tight racing up front, tight racing for 3rd, and boy, you just look all around the racetrack, and there's really good racing from 1st all the way back to 20th.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get away from each other. I know it's a big track, but there's a huge gap where they had the little accident and everybody had to check up, but it's kind of, you got your front pack racing the mess out of each other, and then you got the second half of the pack racing the mess out of each other. So it just seems like Jacoby's stuck behind Byron, David's stuck behind Jacoby. They just can't go anywhere. I don't know. I don't know if the setup's so tight. I haven't really run laps with the Xfinity car in quite some time, but I don't know if it's just too tight or if it's just in the horsepower or what it's preventing them from making passes. But could be clean air. I don't know. Be interesting to find out from these guys what they say the problem was.
A lot of factors and some contact on the front straightaway between the 4 and the 12. Back a mid-pack around they were battling for around the 12th, 13th position. Got up and into one another on the front stretch there. Simley got a piece of the wall. A close call there, almost bringing out caution number 2 of the night. We've only had 1 caution so far. It came right around the 1/3 mark of this race. Ever since then, though, we've been clean and green, and we're clean and green up until that point. Had 1 incident after the restart there where Chad Coleman got all sorts of sideways over in 2. He was able to save it, though, and we stayed green. So 1 caution so far tonight, and a lot of green flag laps has really created some great racing like you're seeing in that 3rd position right now. The battle for that 3rd position. Jacoby right on the inside of Macklin, but just can't do anything down low. Daly, that's Daly in the 06. Daly just so good on that outside down in 3 and 4.
Yeah, you keep it. There's grip up by that wall, and you keep your momentum up. So Jason keeps trying, though, man. I commend the effort. I guess he's if he keeps showing his nose and scaring Byron a little bit, he might scare him into a mistake. So that's kind of the only hope he's got right now. Just because, I mean, look at this run he gets up for. That's huge. You can't really do much with that. Yeah, he's doing a good job holding off. I don't know if these guys have any beef in the past, or if Byron's just in full-blown chase mode and he isn't willing to give up anything. Your points are huge at this point of the season.
Absolutely. Daly also going for win number 9 of the season, so that's a big feat there, and I wouldn't want anybody standing between me and that as well on a chase to double digit wins in the season. That's a big accomplishment if he can make it there. He's got a handful of races left to do it, and got a good shot here tonight at Darlington, but just a little bit off from the rest of the field, or from the field in front of him, and whoa, look out, he was almost off the track as Jacoby almost put the bumper to him over in turn number 2. These guys really getting close now as Jacoby, I think, knows he's faster and wants to get by.
Whew, this is tight. You got me sweating, man. I don't know if Byron got tight in 1 and 2 or if Jacoby just hit it perfect and got the car turned. But, man, that was a huge run through the center. I don't even think he expected it with how close he got to Byron's left rear. That was I thought the 06 was going around for sure.
Close call down in 2, and Jacoby's still right there, but now he's got some heavy traffic behind him with Comstock and Howard, and with him peeking out low here, he's got to be careful. That outside will get plugged up, and he won't be able to get back up in line, and he'll be losing 2 spots as opposed to gaining 1.
Yeah, I think that's what happened to Bob a few laps ago when the 4 and the 12 got together. I think he was trying to search around the bottom in the top field before he was expecting. So, yeah, you got to be careful with that because the next thing, Jason could peek his nose and get on the bottom, and then he could find himself in the 7th spot, in the blink of an eye. So you got to – I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if these guys are just – if you just need to just ride in line here. I know that's not fun, and it's definitely not fun as a race car driver to just kind of – hang out until green flag pit stops. I don't know what these guys their game plan is, but I know it's frustrating. They're probably ready to cuss each other out.
Absolutely, as they are just so tight on a racetrack from 3rd back to 6th. So these guys continue to work on each other. Comstock gets a piece of the wall down in 3 and 4. Howard looking to the inside of him. That would be for the 5th position if he was able to get it done, but just not able to. Just doesn't have enough momentum down low, enough grip on the bottom side in 3 and 4 to make that pass. So we'll keep an eye on these guys, and still watching that battle for the lead. Falkingham just keeping a comfortable distance between he and Macklin. Macklin will close in every once in a while, but Falkingham just opens it right back up. Macklin looks real good on corner entry, and then Falkingham able to get him on corner exit. But that time by, Macklin stays pretty even with him. Maybe the closest he's been all race under green flag conditions, as Macklin is closed in on that 39 machine. And here we go. We've got a battle for the lead to the back straightaway. Macklin, a good run off turn 2 to the back.
Oh yeah, that's the closest anyone's been to that 39 since they rolled off the front stretch with the pace car. So Macklin's looking low here. We just watched this go down with Jacoby. I don't know if he'll be able to make it happen, but it reminds me of like New Hampshire. You'll leave your left side wide open and just tell the car behind you good luck. But man, this is getting good up front. Macklin looks faster, but I don't know where he's gonna go with it.
Absolutely. So we pitted on lap 35, closing in on 30 laps on the tires, or about 28 or so laps on the tires since the last pit stop. So these guys, about in the same condition they were prior to the first caution of the race. And let's go back to 4th, where now it's David Comstock working his way to the inside of Jason Jacoby. Tried to make the move in turn 1, but just could not get it done. And Jacoby has fallen off of Byron Daly. Byron Daly has started to close in on the 2 up front. So this is really getting good here in the closing laps of this green flag run. And I say the closing laps of this green flag run because we're predicting green flag pit stops, anywhere between, I'd say 5, 10, maybe 15 laps at the latest.
Yeah, I think you're going to have your guys that are going to run it dry and hope for a caution, but I kind of told myself that if I was in the driver's seat, I think we went green with about 60 to go, give or take. So I'm a simple person. I'm cutting that in half. I'm going to run 30 and 30 and be done with it. So that would put you anywhere in the next 5 to 10 laps. I definitely think you're going to see most of these guys come get tires. I know Jacoby's normally one of the ones. He will gamble and stay out and run it till it's dry and hope he catches a caution. So We'll see. We'll see who wants to roll the dice. I know it's the first race of the chase, so you don't really want to ruin the whole chase, but winning's what we're here for.
But here's if you roll the dice, come down a lap earlier than everybody else, short pit, well then you got yourself in prime position, end up winning this race. You'll gain almost 2 seconds on the drivers left out on the racetrack. So it's almost a race not only to who's going to pit first, but who's going to stay out on the longest as well, and kind of hope for that lucky break. So I mean, there's so many strategy calls that could go down within the next 10 or so laps that could make or break someone's race. And wow, talk about close with the wall with Falkingham and the 30, and then back behind those guys, Jason Jacoby does get a piece of the wall, and here comes Comstock to the inside to challenge for that position. Slides up in front of him. How about that for a short track Saturday night slide job?
Whew, that's tight, man. Down into one. Goodness gracious, that's tight. But I know them too. I can vouch. They do have a history. So I know David's not going to put up with anything going down in there. But yeah, Jacoby really, he got the wall pretty good that last lap. I mean, that was a good 4 or 5 tenths slower than his previous lap. So, but back to your pitting thing. If I'm Brian, I'm probably coming this lap because as hard as it is to pass, and you've been faster than Daniel in long run. Just it's so hard to get by anybody. If you pit now, you like you said, it's 2 seconds, so you're gonna leapfrog him, and then you just hit your marks because it looks to me like if you don't, as long as you don't screw up, that car behind you ain't getting by. So that would be my game plan. I'd bring it to the crew right now. But hey, I'm up here, not down there tonight. So
absolutely, and it's walking a tightrope. If you beat everybody down by 1 lap, yeah, you'll have an advantage. But if you come down the same lap as everybody, well, then you have the chance of having some contact on pit road maybe, or contact exiting pit road. There's just so much that could go down within these next couple laps, and it's just all up in the air. The leader's still continuing to stay out. Ryan Howard gets a piece of the wall off turn 4. He rides in the 6th position, drops a little bit further behind Jacoby, and that battle for the 4th spot that's continuing to rage on between him and Comstock. But man, the only safe guy on the racetrack that's not really dealing with anybody is Byron Daly in that 06. He's kind of just in a comfortable spot there in that 3rd spot, not too close to the battle in front of him, but pretty a safe distance behind him back to Comstock, and he's just watching the battle for the lead out the front of the car and watching the battle for 3rd or 4th rather in the rear view.
Yeah, he's really got it made. That's kind of the spot I love to be in on a long run, unless I'm leading. That's always great. But I kind of just like to hang out, take care of the car, and just wait till you get some tires on it. So Byron's, I feel like he's slowly catching them just from them racing. But it had dawned on me. I don't have an exact fuel number, but there's no way these guys can go all the way to the end, can they, on fuel?
Don't think so. We've got some
okay
mid-pack drivers already making their way down pit road, so I'm almost positive that we can't go. It would be 62 laps if we went all the way. So that's stretching.
That seems pretty far for a mile and a half. You're right. I had a brain lapse there.
I have seen crazier things before. I mean, Byron Daly has won almost half of his races on 2 tires.
That's the real life engineering he gets from his real job.
There you go.
Clean air is king, so he rolls with it on here.
Daly, you mentioned it. He is closing in on these guys. The telemetry says so, and it's about a tenth or so every 2 or 3 laps. So he's going to close in quite a bit, though, this lap, it looks like, as you can visually start to see him grow closer. And as we talk about that, Brian Macklin gets a piece of the wall over in turn number 4, and now he loses a little bit of distance to the 39 of Falkingham. Now if I'm driving that 30 car, I'm definitely coming to pit road within the next lap or so.
That is literally what I was about to tell you, Ben. I was going to say, man, I would bring it in, because now you're going to have this 31 blending on fresh tires. He's going to probably come past you back. That's going to cost you more time. I would just here comes Denayer. I mean, I'm coming, man. I'm over here just, I can't believe no one has pitted. It's driving me crazy.
Look at Look how faster these guys are on the fresh tires. I mean, they're being courteous, but if they wanted to, they could just fly by these leaders. Look at Denaire down on the inside of Macklin, and even Arnold down on the inside of your leader, Daniel Falkingham. Makes it look easy. Well, it's probably because it is on fresher tires. A whole lot easier getting around somebody that's on about 35 lap old tires now since we went back racing. Daniel Falkingham still leading, and I'd say
he was in a bad spot right there into one. That's not what you want. Being on the outside into turn one at Darlington, that's a nightmare. So he did a good job not driving it straight into the fence there.
And still trying to battle back and gain as much ground as he can. Doesn't really want to check up and let the 10 slide in front of him, or he'll lose some ground to that 30 machine behind him. But I was going to say, within the top 10, it doesn't look like too many cars out of the top 10 who have come down pit road. They've all been outside the top 10. So if these guys continue to stay out, these guys that have already come down pit road, if we're coming up on 21 lap to go, Trey, if they stay out any longer, it's going to be hard for them to catch the guys back that have the fresh tires.
I'm almost speechless, Ben. I'm over here like, I would have pitted 10 laps ago. What's the deal? I don't know. Maybe they all got a whole nother tank of fuel that we don't know about.
And that could be. Some of these guys may be thinking that they can make it on fuel, and I think that's about the only way that these guys would stay out on the racetrack this much longer than anyone else. And coming to 20 to go. Right here, it's down to crunch time at Darlington. It's Falkingham, Macklin, and now Byron Daly right there on the bumper of these guys. Got to go back 2.5 seconds to David Comstock, who has really got some heat from Ryan Howard. Jason Jacoby sits 6th. 7th is Tommy Ryan, and it's Mike Kelly and E.J. O'Rourke and Scott Simley now rounding out the top 10 in that number 12. And just about everybody from 15th on back. Scratch that now. 14th on back is down pit road. Justin Fuller, one of the first from the top 10 to make his way down.
I'm just glad to see somebody coming down pit road. It was driving me crazy. So good for Justin. I'm glad he's somewhat we see eye to eye on it. It's a little later than I would have done, but yeah, you gotta come get them, man. If you're gonna have to pit, you might as well, to me, come get you some tires and try to put a gap on them guys and just see if you can fend them off.
Absolutely. Well, it's certainly a different world up here versus on the track. We can think we know it all and think the best strategy, but down in the end, it all comes down to what happens on the racetrack and what these guys decide to do for themselves and their team. And for the top 3 or the top 5 even, it's staying out. It looks like as long as possible, trying to, I don't know, maybe catch a caution or maybe trying to extend the whole race on just one stop. They're on lap number 36 or so. So it's up in the air.
They got their caution there when I was watching Fuller blend on the backstretch, and Campbell drove it into the fence off 2. And he shot out over the inside wall, and it kind of unloaded on the left rear, and I thought he was going to spin back to the right. So the leaders about got saved right there.
There's just a lot of wrong things that could happen or could go wrong here while these guys come back up to speed, especially with half the field on old tires, half on new tires, and then we're really going to get interesting here when we throw half the field on new tires and half on about 10 lap old tires. So it's all up in the air. It's just a waiting game for us now up here in the booth as we close in 15 laps to go this time by. And, I'm starting to think these guys in the top 5 think they can make it.
I've put out a few feelers. I'm trying to get an answer for us up here because it's driving me crazy. So I'm just waiting on somebody to hit me back. One of them is the crew chief right now, so I'm hoping he'll let us know what's going on. Because I know 60 would be very far. The only thing that I kind of thought about was if the fall off, you're off the gas so much with the tire fall off that you're not burning as much. I don't, but I definitely didn't expect them to go that far.
Macklin gets a big piece of the wall running P2, and even if they can make it that long on fuel, the tires are just shot as the battle goes on for second. Daly to the inside. Macklin keeps the momentum up around the top side of the racetrack. Falkingham now riding off into the sunset. Out in front, 10-15 car lengths back to that number 30 machine, and coming to 13 laps to go this time for that 39, looking for win number 6 of the season. Can it come tonight here at Darlington? What a race we've seen so far.
Daniels, he hadn't put a wheel wrong, but maybe once tonight. So I think Byron's a little faster, but getting by Brian and as we've seen, passing's hard. So it would take a bit to get by Brian and run down Daniel and the amount of laps left. So I think as long as they're good on fuel, I think Daniel's sitting pretty good right now.
12 to go this time for the 39. Man, this is one of those kind of broadcasts where it comes down to the fuel and the strategy, and it's just we were silent at times because we're thinking of all the possibilities that could go on, and boy, this race has that feeling as Falkingham just continuing to run away with it down the backstretch. Doesn't sound like he's saving any at all, and you mentioned it, maybe the fall off is helping him with that, but certainly not getting out of the gas as Macklin in the wall big time front straightaway, and now they're together. P2 and P3 go crashing into turn 1.
Wow, I'm speechless on that one. I know Brian's a heck of a driver, but I know he also knows he had a car high. I think they got a history, but I can't say that looked intentional, but that's not good.
Big moment on the front straightaway. Big moment for the championship standings as just getting everything kicked off here in the playoffs, and 2 of the playoff contenders involved in a big moment down the front straightaway. That all happened when Macklin got up and into the wall, had to chase the car down the racetrack, and Daly just saw an opening and had the line when Macklin closed the door on him, and Daly didn't really let out. He turned him the rest of the way around, and Macklin spins down into turn 1, and he'll have to restart at the tail end of this pack. Well, he's actually scored 4th right now, so he might get a lucky break, Macklin in that 30.
Yeah, I don't think the 06 is too bad. It honestly looks like, when I went back and watched it again, it looks like Brian. It's one of those where you go to save it, and the car just kind of unloads on the left rear and starts spinning back to the right. So I don't even know if he really could have called it once it took off back towards the wall. And you can't really blame Byron for shooting a gap that he saw. So they're all coming down pit road, so they're going to take 4. But we'll see if everybody can get in and out clean.
Absolutely, and got a couple mixed strategies here, but all those guys that have taken tires already are pretty much 1 lap down. So everybody still on the lead lap going to take tires and be on 4 fresh ones here for a run to the finish. And Daniel Falkingham had quite a bit of a gap leading the field down pit road. Looks like he'll lead us off of pit road, and it's going to be Falkingham Comstock up to 2nd, Daly 3rd, 4th to Brian Macklin, and it looks like Jacoby going to restart here 5th with around 6 or so laps to go. It's going to be a shootout here at Darlington. We'll take a quick commercial break, catch our breath, and get ready to take you to the checkered flag at the track. Too tough to tame.
TransService has flourished and retained customers for multiple decades. How? By making our word our bond and delivering the most responsive service and transparent financial details to give our clients the best all-around value in the industry. By not providing cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all, off-the-shelf solutions. Instead, crafting tailored, customer-centric solutions for each client's individualized business model and needs. By empowering highly ethical, dedicated associates to build true partnerships and mutually beneficial relationships with our accounts. And by cultivating long-term, loyal customers and vendors through each and every one of these guiding principles. And maintaining those relationships with transparent, quality operations. That's why TransService has been successful for 50 years, and that's how we'll continue to grow and flourish long into the future. Let us show you why many of our clients have been with us for over 20 years. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
How to make a Kickass Bloody Mary. First, visit your nearest Apollo liquor store in Rochester or Austin. Pick up a bottle or two of Kickass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings. Then fill your glass with Kickass Bloody Mary and your favorite vodka. Add the Kickass fixings. Now it's time to enjoy a Kickass Bloody Mary, and of course, repeat as needed. Get your Kickass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings today at any of the Apollo locations in Rochester and Austin. It's just that good.
Welcome back to Darlington in the first round of the playoffs here in the Kickass Beef Jerky Sunday Series. It's Daniel Fockingham leading us back to the green flag and restarting on the outside road. That's the lane he chooses. David Comstock up from P11 to now P2 there on the inside of row number 1. We know he can pass cars, one of the biggest movers of the night. And then the row behind them, well, they've got some history in this race, and it only happened about 4 or so laps ago. Brian Macklin and Byron Daly. Daly starting 3rd, Macklin 4th, and then you have Jacoby and Tommy Ryan rounding out the first 3 rows for this restart. It'll be 6 laps to go at the flag stand. Pace car to pit road, and this could be the final restart of the night. They stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. Green flag is back in the air, back underway and up through the gears.
Whew, I was wondering about Byron there. He can't seem to drift over.
Oh!
Yep.
Some contact there. And that may be from the damage, may be intentional, just kind of hard to tell. But either way, Macklin gets shuffled back to 5th. Now down into turn number 3, and Fockingham out in front of the field, going to try and run away. He's got some short run speed in that 39, and now's the time to show it with 5 laps to go.
Tommy Ryan looking for 5th there on Macklin. Macklin's having a bad go over here the last few laps. I think he's just ready to see the checkered. I think David up there in 2nd. If he can start hitting his marks, it's as high as he's been up all night. So we'll see what he can do with Daniel, man. Nobody's been able to really touch that thing all night.
Trying his hardest to run him down, and it's a short distance to the checkered flag. Just 4 laps to go now between Fockingham and win number 6 on the season. Can it come tonight here at Darlington? Comstock looking for win number 4 of the season. So these guys all going for an extra win tallied up on the board here tonight between the first 3 drivers. Listen to this. First 3 drivers, 15 wins between these 3 drivers.
I don't have the standings right up in front of me, but I would assume those are your top 3 in points. So there's a reason that they're top 3 in this race. So they seems like they've been there all night or all season long. Especially Byron. It seems like every time I look at the results the next morning, it was him going to victory lane. So yeah, it's these guys. They're probably going to be 3 of the 4 heading to Miami.
Absolutely. By the way, my math was wrong. 16 wins between these top 3 as we get the 2 to go signal right there. Popsicle sticks at the flag stand. Fockingham opening up his lead in the final laps of this one. Down the back straightaway, Comstock not within striking distance unless a big moment happens for that 39. And once we make it to the white flag, the race is going to be official. Fockingham just hope he sees that waving, and he does. He'll cross the line. Final lap here at Darlington for what has been a clean sweep for the driver of the 39 from flag to flag. He is going to lead every lap. Comstock making one last attempt to run down the 39, but not going to be close enough. Into 3 and off of turn number 4. It's win number 6 for the driver of the 39. Daniel Fockingham going to open off the playoffs with a win at Darlington.
Man, that's gotta feel good. You know, you start the playoffs dominating a race at Darlington of all places. So, wow, I knew Daniel's a heck of a talent, but I surely didn't expect leading every single lap like that.
Foggingham picking up the victory. It's going to be Comstock coming home second. Third, going to go to Byron Daly. And you mentioned it, top three in points, top three here on the track. We'll get to talk with Foggingham and the rest of the podium finishers right after this. It's the post-race show coming up from Darlington.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Rat poison.
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
We welcome you back to Darlington Raceway and the Kickass Beef Jerky Sunday series right here in Sim500 competition. It's the post-race show after a spectacular 100-lap main event. And I'm gonna swing by and talk with the driver who came home third tonight, worked his way up from fifth, and boy, he almost locked in a battle the whole race, it seemed, Byron Daly. There was only a couple laps there in that second green flag run where you just had a little bit of space in front of you, a little bit of space behind you, but everywhere in between there, it seemed like you were battling with somebody.
Yeah, there's some people you can race and some people you can't. I thought I had a pretty good chance at, possibly having a fight with Daniel for the win there. I thought I was really good on the long runs. It's just I don't know. I don't know what else to do. It kind of stinks. We've had a good season. Good points night still for the playoffs here. I know Daniel just gave himself a good shot in the arm too, so congrats to him. But yeah, it was a difficult setup. It was kind of fun to drive. It was more tight than anything, but it just stinks when you can't finish a green flag run.
Nothing to hang your head on. 8 wins still this season. You add on another tally to the top 5 chart there. Just this track is so hard to pass. You were at that position a couple times, just riding behind somebody. Just so hard to make a move on them unless they make a mistake. And talking about that final caution, a mistake was made in front of you. You try to capitalize and end up with the contact down in turn 1. What'd you see from your windshield?
Honestly, he just wrecked me. I mean, it's what it is. It's been this way for a little bit. Did the same thing in Bristol. It's whatever. Like I said, some people can't race around, so that's fine. We'll keep going. I need to do a better job of qualifying, honestly. Like, I need to do a better job if I want to actually have a shot at this championship. Just stay out of those situations, be in front of it, do what Daniel did, and just control the race. So I can definitely do more on my part to prevent such things. It's just it stinks when they happen.
Third place tonight, though, still a great run for the 0-6. Byron, who do you want to thank for putting you here?
Just Kickass Beef Jerky sponsoring the series. It's, I'm pretty sure that was a pretty exciting race for the fans there. You guys for, broadcasting it. It's always fun to watch. And yeah, just the guys at Sim500. I might have said that already, but on them for putting on the league. It's always fun to come out here and run. So appreciate that.
There you have it, Byron Daly, P3 tonight at Darlington, still chasing win number 9 on the season. And up next, we'll send it down to Trey Edson, who's caught up with, well, his teammate, who comes home second tonight. One of the big movers, up 9 spots, Trey, in this race.
Yeah, I got my teammate here, David Comstock. Good run, buddy.
Thanks, man.
I was gonna hit on how it looked extremely hard to pass, and then Ben has to set it up with, well, we got our biggest mover of the night, so that kind of trumps that question. but in all honesty,
it wasn't easy though.
It does look. It looked no matter how hard you saved your tires, it just once you got to somebody's bumper, it was pretty much impossible to make anything happen on the bottom. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, it was super tough. Once the tires even set in, I mean, heck, even that one restart where I tried to make a move to try to gain another spot going in 3 and 4, and I went straight to the bottom and tried to do everything I can. Just as you know, you've ran these races before. The setups are super tight for these things, so you're trying to do everything you can to try to get it freed up. And so we're trying to just drive to the bottom and run that dashed white line on the near the apron there to try to de-wedge it and get it to rotate through the corner. And it's just so much momentum on the top. I end up kind of defaulting back to where I was on that initial restart. So just trying to do everything you can on that. It was, like I said, it's super tough to pass, and you want to try to set and line your passes up and make the commitment right away, because you don't want to hold yourself up, because that's just that many more laps you're going to be sitting behind the guy, and then your tires equalize. So, but overall, it was it's always fun being here at the track Too Tough to Tame.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. It was the first time I'd seen it at night, so it looks pretty good. But I got $1 million question. Did y'all have enough fuel to go to the end?
Yes. Yeah, we were good we were calculating it. Initially, we were like, oh, we're good by a few laps. And then I was looking at my fuel numbers and everything, and it was getting pretty dicey. It was like a little close. It was either right on the money or maybe half a lap short. So there's actually a few laps where once the tires, like, you really drop off, you're just free rolling through the corner, especially through 3 and 4. So what I was doing is I was shutting it off early going in the corner and clutched in, not really using a whole lot of brake, just letting it roll to just save a little bit extra more gas to make sure that we were good to go. But yeah, we were about 3 or 4 to good.
I got you. All right. Well, now me and Ben look stupid up in the booth. So we were trying to do the math there at the end to see when y'all were gonna come to pit road. But yeah, that was a good run. That's a good way to start your chase. Who you got on the quarter panels here that you'd like to thank?
I would like that. I thank everybody at Aftermath Motorsports, all their support every single week. The league, the Sim500, and the admins for sponsoring our series. Kickass Beef Jerky for sponsoring us here, and sponsors on the car, racingbiz.com. If you go to Facebook, every Tuesday and Thursday, we got live auctions that run at 7 p.m. Eastern. We got really cool racing stuff on there that go for auction there. So go check it out, racingbiz.com. New Day Doors, Monster Energy, Jada Graphics for painting this really sweet throwback car that we had today for Kenny Irwin, as we were throwing it back to. So shout out to Jada Laird there for the awesome paint, and you guys for broadcasting, and everyone out there watching. Thank you.
Good run, man. That's a good looking car. It really stood out under the lights. So it's a good run, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it. See you next week.
There you have it, David Comstock coming home in second tonight, and down here in victory lane, if my numbers are correct, 100 laps led tonight here at Darlington. And fun fact, there was also 100 laps in the race. So we call that flag to flag. Daniel Falkingham, dominant performance. Was there any point in this race where you think, or where you thought, okay, maybe Macklin has something for me. Maybe Comstock may get me on this last restart, or did you just have it in the bag, just toying with these guys?
I will say Brian definitely didn't make it easy. I mean, there were many times where there was ways he was taking the corner that honestly I couldn't. And I tried that a few times, and honestly I felt like it made me slower, but then there was times later in the race where it actually made me faster, and there was times where I would be more conservative, and they were a lot more braver than I was of me trying to keep it out of the wall and stuff. I got in the wall a few times, but it didn't even do any damage to my car. So it was like a few nicks in the right rear. So we got away with that. And honestly, overall, it was a good race. But honestly, just terrible setup to drive. I mean, that's why I almost plowed down the wall a few times, especially on the long run, especially off of turn 2 and turn 4. Because every time I'd go to the gas, it just want to plow the wall down every lap. So I definitely had to take a slow approach, especially how I was going through the corners and stuff. And my long run speed I felt okay with, and just what saved me as well was just it's so hard to pass, especially with how tight the setup is, and it's almost like a one-lane racetrack too. But yeah, so I mean we were right up against the wall all night, but I feel like in tomorrow night's Cup race, I think you're going to see a little bit of a different story, which is how the package is. So we'll see, but I will say this was definitely a hard race, and Brian definitely put on the pressure. David, he definitely put on the pressure towards the end when I was screwing up a few times off the restart. But then, luckily, I got it all together, and we managed to bring home a victory.
First race in the playoffs tonight here at Darlington. Talk about the momentum, picking up a win here early in the playoffs, and really looking good to take that all the way to Homestead.
It's always good when you're winning races, even though it doesn't mean you move on to the next round. But, I mean, just points is what we're after at. So, like I said, good start to the playoffs, and then we got I feel like I got some two good racetracks coming out. I feel good at Indy, but honestly, at Las Vegas, I'm a little bit concerned. I know I can feel like I can definitely run top 10, but definitely might not have a winning shot there. But we'll see what happens, especially with the new Xfinity car actually coming out with the new build. Like, we're not racing since we're off for Labor Day, but then the week after that, we have a new build coming out, so they may change the setups in the Xfinity car, which might throw a wrench into it. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the playoffs and see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, we congratulate you on your win tonight. Who do you want to thank for putting you in victory lane?
I got to thank First Rate Baylobs 207 for being on the car, and special thank you to John Mushton for painting me up this beautiful throwback of Andy Poston's Xfinity car. I know it was a 4, but I decided why not throw it on a Chevy. Definitely looked good being purple, I guess. But I mean, we left a few purple spots on the wall tonight, but luckily we were able to keep it cruising out front. Also got to thank Joey and the guys for putting on the show here at Sim500. Always fun to come out and run this league. Also, thank you to everyone who comes and races each and every week. All the support from the guys at Aftermath, all the support they show me, and also thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thank you to the fans who watch us each and every week.
Well, there you have it, Daniel Falkingham. A lot of thanks, and well, when you lead 100 laps of the race, you get the time to do it all. Daniel, congrats on the win, and look forward to coming back in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Ben.
There you have it, Daniel Falkingham. Dominant performance here tonight at Darlington, and he's not the only guy with a great performance tonight. Trey Edson up in the booth here in the Sim Racing Network did a spectacular job. First time on the microphone with us, Trey. Thanks for jumping in, and hope you had fun. I know I had fun up here with you, and man, you did a great job. I'll say it again.
You lead the way. I just follow, man. You do a great job. You're like, as a kid, I heard like Barney Hall and everybody on MRN. Well, you got like one of those radio voices, so it's you make it look easy. So it's tough to try to follow you and at least not sound like an idiot doing so. So it was an honor. I've always wanted to do something like this. It's cool to see how like in like your Harvicks and your Logano's do it in real life. It's kind of fun to sit back and just watch a race and not really have to stress out about nothing. And hopefully we can. I learned a little bit, I think, for tomorrow night. I just got to get my little 6-month-old boy to. I got to get him to fall asleep before the server goes up so I can log some laps and fully compete tomorrow night. So that was one different thing I got to do is watch another race here before we head into. I guess tomorrow is our season finale for the Cup Series.
There you go, and got to defend that win from last year as well, so we wish you luck with that. And again, thanks for stopping by. Door is always open, but for tonight, that's going to do it for us here at Darlington Raceway. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, for Kickass Beef Jerky sponsoring the series, and for Sim500 to have us here on Sunday nights. For Aaron Grosskopf and Trey Edson, I am Ben Kilcrease. Be sure to tune in to the Trans Service Cup Series tomorrow live on the OSRN with Joe White and John Mushton. But for all of us here at the Sim Racing Network, we bid you farewell, good night, and remember, when you're out on the roads, to put that phone down. We'll see you in a couple weeks.